Now, research by engineers at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, KNUST, shows that maize contains cancer-causing metal substances. The findings are published in the Journal of Science and Technology. It suggests Ghanaians consume between 25 to 97.2 milligrams of iron particles daily from meals prepared from milled maize. This is far above the National Research Council recommended dietary iron intake. Law FM's Kwesi Deborah reports.
It's 2 p.m. Francis Abesiwie attends to his 12th client. Local alcoholic beverage Pito Briwa Akusia is here to have her soaked millet milled. Milling involves crushing the sorghum into powder by a pair of metal plates, one stationary and the other turning. The same machine is used to mill and blend tomatoes and other vegetables in the morning, then cereals afterwards. Ordinarily, it takes about 20 minutes to mill 25 kilograms or more of millet. Immediately Francis is done, Akosia's 2-kilogram dry maize follows. After all is done, it's time to clean up the grinding plates.
When
the workload is high, it wears away every 2 days. There's the need to sharpen them. With less workload, they can last for a week. Francis prefers to buy locally made plates to imported ones. The foreign plates wear out slowly, but they can't be recycled. They are also expensive. Corn milling, whether wet or dry, is a major activity in Ghana. According to the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, over 95% of Ghanaians enjoy dishes prepared from milled maize. Wearing of the plates means metal particles finding their way into the milled stuff.
I know with the mention of iron, most of you will be thinking about the formation of red blood cells, carrying of oxygen in the bloodstream, the building of tissues, the building of muscles, the building of the brains. Sorry to say, the one found in your kinky is not the usual or doesn't act like ferrous sulfate BP. It's rather a dangerous one.
A study conducted at 105 maize milling shops in Ghana found for a total of 1,800 kilograms of milled maize, the amount of metallic iron particles found is about 175 kilograms and 90 kilograms for wet and dry milling respectively. The findings again indicates the amount of iron particles in milled maize increased with the quantity. Engineer Dr. Anthony Andrews of KNUST Department of Materials Engineering is a member of the research team.
What is serious about this is that the iron that is in the corn dough is in there as metallic iron. And so when you consume it, it's an unorthodox way of consuming iron. And so the metallic iron is more carcinogenic, which has a detrimental effect on the health of human beings.
The researchers are taking steps to improve the wear resistance of the locally produced mill plates.
Elements like chromium can be added to it. In that case, it becomes a cast steel rather than just a cast iron. And the chromium content in it will improve the corrosion property of it and therefore has a tendency to minimize the wear.
The Materials Engineering Department of KNUST plans to train small-scale foundry operators to improve manufacture of milling plates. Reporting for JoyNews, Kwesi Deborah.
Now, we've been joined via phone by a member of the research team, Dr. Anthony Andrews of the Materials Engineering Department of KNUST. Welcome, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, and thanks for giving me the opportunity.
So, what is this new technology you are developing to solve the challenge of increased iron content in maize?
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to take this opportunity to say good morning to your cherished listeners and viewers. Materials engineering focuses on the development of new materials or improving the existing materials to function better.
Right.
And then when you talk about milling, we know milling is critical in food processing. And therefore, as much as possible, you have to minimize the contamination levels during milling. Now, there are several alternative materials that we can use. But then, of course, in this case, cost is a major factor. And so the Department of Materials Engineering is working on using a low-cost approach to improve the wear resistance of the mill plates that are being produced locally. And so we are planning on even organizing workshops for the producers of these mill plates so that they can improve upon the wear resistance property of the plates that they are producing. So
by wear resistance, you mean the time, the amount of time or the number of mills it takes for the plates to go blunt?
Yes, you are talking about the number of times it takes. When you talk about wearing resistance, as the report indicates, it means that the mill is the plate itself is wearing into the food. And so what we try to do is that we are reducing the rate at which the wearing takes place. And that will also mean that the contamination level in the corn dough will be minimized. And that will possibly fall below the National Research Council recommended dietary iron intake.
Speaking of this level that the National Research Council has placed for all Ghanaians to consume below, how serious is it? What is the effect expected on the average human being who consumes maize in large quantities with this level of iron content?
You see, as I said earlier, the iron particles are in there as metallic iron. And so the blood can only take a limited portion of it. So the rest will be in the blood. The medical guys will even explain it better. So if the rest are in the blood, then it means that it becomes cancerous to the human system. And that is what the research tries to report on. So as a Department of Materials Engineering, we are trying to come up with a material or improve upon even the one we are currently producing so that the level of contamination will not be that high.
How far along are we with this development?
No, very, very, very far, very far. In fact, we are planning on getting some funding to try to organize a workshop for the small-scale foundries. We all know that small-scale foundries in Ghana are contributing immensely to the national economy. And therefore, we want to try and help them as a department to produce quality products.
Thank you so much, Dr. Andrews. Dr. Anthony Andrews is a lecturer in the University of Science and Technology in Kumasi. And Emmanuel Abuaje reads business. He's up next.